In the grand marble hall of the Galactic Empire, 700 royal candidates stood beneath the humming light of a machine older than civilization itself, the Coronation Scanner. For 10,000 years, it had never failed to choose a ruler. It could see destiny written in atoms, read authority in the pulse of blood. Yet, when it reached the human, a man from Earth who didn't even belong there, it froze. Lights dimmed, reality trembled, and in golden fire it declared, "Crownless king, paradox detected." The galaxy stopped breathing. If that line just gave you chills, you're not alone. What happens when the universe's oldest machine declares a human the true king of all creation? Stick around. This story goes from myth to madness real fast. And hey, if you love deep, human-centered sci-fi that makes you proud to be from Earth, hit like, tap subscribe, and share this with someone who'd wear that invisible crown. For 10,000 years, the Galactic Empire had known no question greater than this: who deserves the throne? And for 10,000 years, one ancient device had answered without fail: the Coronation Scanner. It was said the machine was older than the Empire itself, a relic of a civilization so advanced even the Empire's brightest scholars only understood fragments of its code. It didn't look like technology. It looked like a shrine, a monolith of black stone inscribed with shifting golden runes, humming with a voice that felt almost alive. To stand before it was to have your soul measured. The scanner could read your genetic essence, trace your ancestry through time, and determine if leadership itself ran in your blood. No bias, no politics, just pure cosmic judgment. Every emperor in history had been chosen by that silent observer. It never erred, never hesitated, never questioned its own decision. Until one day, on the 1000th millennial coronation, it did. Because among the heirs of stars and dynasties, a single human, an Earth-born nobody, was about to shatter 10,000 years of certainty. The coronation chamber shimmered with impossible beauty. Marble that floated banners made of light, and thousands of nobles watching in silent awe. 700 candidates stood in formation, each descended from lines that ruled galaxies. Prince Vexhai of the Alteran dynasty stepped forward first, tall, radiant, confident. His bloodline had produced 30 emperors. The scanner hummed approvingly, etching an 87.3 into the air. Respectable, predictable. Then came Princess Tavara of Zelonia, a woman whose gaze could silence an army. Her reading blazed 91.2, the highest in 2 centuries. The crowd gasped. The stars themselves seemed to applaud. And yet, destiny had one more name on the list. "Jake Thompson of Earth," the herald announced. The room fell awkwardly silent. A few nobles chuckled. Some looked offended. A human? From where? Jake shuffled forward, clutching a data pad. I think there's been a mistake," he muttered. "I'm just here to deliver trade documents." The scanner didn't wait. Its core pulsed. Its hum deepened into something ancient, resonant, almost curious. Lights dimmed. Reality itself seemed to lean closer. Because for the first time in 10,000 years, the scanner hesitated. At first, everyone thought it was a glitch, a faint flicker of light, a strange vibration in the air. But then, every symbol on the scanner's obsidian surface ignited at once. Golden glyphs cascaded faster than thought, rearranging themselves into equations no species could read. The hum became a scream, so deep it rattled bones and rippled through the chamber floor. Candles flickered, gravity stuttered, then silence. The light condensed into a single phrase, written not in words, but in radiant fire. "Crownless king, error, paradox detected." The crowd gasped. Even the air seemed to pull back in fear. Prince Vexhai shouted, "What does that mean? How can a commoner break the scanner?" Jake took a step back. I think it's broken. I'm nobody. My dad sells insurance. His voice cracked in disbelief. But the machine wasn't done. Images spilled into the air around him. Thousands, maybe millions, scenes of humans through time. Warriors, teachers, revolutionaries, nurses, explorers, each one standing tall without crowns, guiding without ruling. The scanner pulsed one last time, trembling like a heartbeat, every symbol aligned into a single word: human. And for the first time in galactic history, the Empire didn't know what that meant. The silence that followed was heavier than gravity. No one dared to speak until the Grand Arch Scholar, a being older than most empires, floated forward on trembling limbs. "I've read of this," he whispered, voice echoing like wind through ruins. "In the oldest archives, before the Empire, before even the founders. It speaks of a myth. The Crownless King." The nobles exchanged uneasy glances. "A legend?" Princess Tavara asked softly. "Not a legend," the scholar said. "A principle, a being with absolute capacity to lead, yet no hunger for power. The paradox of perfect rule, the leader who refuses the throne." Eyes turned toward Jake. He looked horrified. "That's ridiculous. I organize shipping manifests. I'm barely in management." But the scholar persisted. "Tell me, human, how many guilds follow your routes without question?" Jake blinked. "All of them. Because they're efficient." "And how many disputes have you resolved peacefully?" He hesitated. "A few dozen." Behind him, his supervisor cleared his throat. 17 promotions offered, 17 refused." The scholar's voice dropped to reverence. "There it is. The pattern of kingship without crown." The scanner pulsed once more, its light soft as dawn. "Recommendation? The throne belongs to he who refuses it." For a long moment, no one moved. The ancient scanner stood silent, its runes fading like embers after judgment. The hall, once filled with ambition and pride, was now a cathedral of disbelief. Prince Vexhai finally spoke. "If the scanner says you must rule, then you rule." But Jake just laughed nervously. "Yeah, no thanks. I've got plans this weekend. There's a new coffee shop opening on Station 7. The chamber erupted, some in outrage, others in stunned silence. Princess Tavara stepped closer, almost pleading. "You would turn down an empire?" Jake shrugged. "Maybe that's the point. Nobody should have to own people to help them." And somehow, that broke the spell. The nobles, those born to command, began to question what ruling even meant. The scholar, tears glimmering in his many eyes, whispered, "The crownless king fulfills the prophecy not by leading, but by teaching us how not to be ruled." That day, the Galactic Empire ended. Not in war, but in wisdom. It became the Galactic Republic, a council of worlds led by cooperation, not bloodlines. And Jake Thompson of Earth, he just went home, still thinking about that coffee. Because sometimes, the greatest crown is the one left behind. And that, my friends, is the legend of the crownless king. The man who refused the throne and, in doing so, taught the galaxy what real leadership means. It's classic humanity, isn't it? We stumble into destiny by accident, trip over greatness, then politely say, "Nah, I'm good." But maybe that's why humanity keeps surprising the stars. We lead not by domination, but by empathy, by choice. If this story made you proud to be human, hit that like button, subscribe for more HFY tales of defiance and wonder, and share it with someone who'd rather build bridges than sit on thrones. Because in the end, legends aren't crowned. They're remembered.